Hi, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Um, Welcome and thank you all for joining us. As always, if you do need to jump off or if you can't attend live, we do send out the recording and we make the webinar available to access on our website. So if you need it at a later time, you're always welcome to revisit it. But thank you all so much for joining us live today. For our webinar, this is our Punchpass Ask Us Anything, really in us here, Ask Punchpass Anything. So we've spent the last maybe month and a half messaging out and asking for people to send us questions, just things that maybe they weren't sure about when it comes to Punchpass, or some features they'd like to see, and people just send in a lot of things that they're thinking about and feeling when it comes to Punchpass. So we wanted to share that information with you, and we wanted to do it as a team. If you don't know me, I'm Victoria. I'm the head of training and support at Punchpass, and we'll be hearing from a couple other of our team members today. So I'll introduce them shortly. Another thing I'll mention is that while this is a question and answer based webinar, maybe a little different from our usual ones, we are still going to ask for questions at the end. So if anything that we covered during the webinar you had a question about, or you had any other questions that we can help you with, please feel free to message us with those in the chat by the end of the webinar. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Little overview of kind of what we're doing here today, and what this webinar is going to look like is that we've spent, again, about the past month, getting questions from whether they're Punchpass users or people who subscribe to our newsletter and maybe just curious about Punchpass. And some of those questions we did reach out to and respond to them directly. So if you have asked a question and it doesn't show up in the webinar today, please check your email or reach out to us. Again, I'll cover how you can contact our team at the end. So in case anything else comes up, we can cover that there. And we've also edited some of the questions just for time and for clarity purposes. So we tried to remove any typos and make them a little bit shorter if we could, while still getting to the essence of what they're looking for. And what we noticed is that we got kind of three different types of questions that we're going to kind of dive into today. We got a lot of feature request questions, which is awesome. We're always excited to hear about what people are looking for in a software management system, or studio management software. And we're always looking to hear what you're interested in, what you might need, what seems important to you. And we actually have a couple features that we're going to be talking about that we got requests and we're going to be making them live soon. So we're going to kind of give you all a little sneak peek into that, which is awesome. We also got a couple support how-to questions. So how do I do this in Punchpass? I messed up and did this. Is there any way I can do that? And we kind of picked ones that seemed like they might be relevant to more than just one studio. And that, we think that some of you might also experience those situations, or you might have those questions. So we'll cover those. And then just like questions about Punchpass. So, a little bit about us and what we're all about, or how we might be useful to a business like yours. So that's kind of what we're covering. It's not in any order. It's sort of a grab bag. I tried to kind of mix it up for us. So we'll go ahead and start with introductions. So in terms of people on the Punchpass team who you'll be hearing from, the first is me. I'll be answering some of the questions as well. So you'll still hear from me. I'm not just passing it entirely off to the team, but I'm so excited that you'll get to hear from some team members that you might maybe have chatted with before, maybe don't know, but are obviously very important members of our team. So Chris is our founder and CEO, and he lend a hand on some upcoming features that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to hear from Leah, who is one of our customer success specialists. And we're also going to hear from Claire, who is our other customer success specialist. So we'll hear from both of them, obviously kind of covering some of the support how-to questions. And then we're also going to hear from Erin, who is one of our developers, who was working on a feature that was that we got a question about. So pretty excited to jump on in and get to some questions. So let's do this thing. So our first question, this is a sort of a support how-to question, a little bit about Punchpass question. Is there a link for students to see the totality of their class activity? How many classes they've used and when passes expire? So we're going to hand off this question about sort of what students are able to see, what your customers are able to see. We're going to hand that off to Leah.
Hey everyone, this is Leah from Punchpass. Someone asked, is there a link for students to see the totality of their class activity? How many classes have they used? And when a pass expires? The answer is, you bet. So if you're on our Balsam or Banyan plans, your customers have access to customer accounts. And here's an example of my customer account with Rapid Fitness Studios. Here in the upper right-hand corner, if I click on the My Active Passes button, this opens up a pop-up window with the passes I have available to use to make class reservations. You'll see the name of the pass, the number of classes I've already attended, the visits remaining, when the pass became active, and the purchase date. Clicking on the My Reservations button, I'll see a list of all the reservations I have coming for upcoming classes. And here's a hot tip. So if you have a customer who says to you, I didn't get the email to join the online class, what's the Zoom link? You can tell that customer to log into their customer account with your studio and click on the My Reservations button. Here they'll see in the list of classes the link to join. Another good tip is in the customer profile, so by clicking on my name from the drop-down menu here and clicking Class History, I can see a list of all of the classes I've previously attended. I hope that helps answer your question. Thanks for asking. And if you have any more questions, you'll find me in support.
Yeah, we will definitely be talking about here. We'll definitely be talking about, 1 second, I think I might be frozen here. Stop my video and start that again. Okay, there we are. Thanks for hanging on for that little technical difficulty. But yeah, that was great. Leah is one of our support team members and is in the chat and available to talk to if you have any questions about Punchpass. So there's a little overview of where you can find information if you're a customer and how to direct your customers there. So that is one of our support queues. Here we have a feature request question. Hi, Punchpass team. I would love to have a feature where new clients could complete an intake form as part of their account setup. I appreciate them being able to sign the waiver, but also having an intake form feature would be very helpful. So yes, currently we have a waiver feature on some of our plans in Punchpass, but we've gotten a lot of requests. This is a very popular request about Punchpass. And so we are going to talk about intake forms with Chris. So.
New customer intake forms are an exciting new feature that we are currently working on and hope to have live by the end of this month. Fair warning, it will be part of a newer high price plan just due to the complexity and power of the new feature. But here, let me show you a quick look. We can't go into all the details here, but this is an example of the intake forms setup page. Currently, I've got 2 forms I've created, and so we'll take a look at one of them, the new customer intake form. So you can do things like give it a name, you can customize the URL that the customer goes to, and most importantly, you can create what we call custom fields. So this is an example of a very simple form, first name, last name, email address. We're going to ask the customer what their birthday is. Those are all fields that currently exist on the customer account. Then we're going to make some custom questions. Everyone's favorite, COVID-19. Are you vaccinated? Which vaccine did you receive? And when was your last booster shot? Fields can be required or not required, and you can create things like lists. So for example, which vaccine did you receive? You can make people choose between Moderna, Pfizer, Novavax, Johnson & Johnson, etc. So you can create your own custom lists. On the customer side, they look just a lot like this. Looks like a form. Yes, no's, dates. Customer can submit it to create a new customer account. Beyond new customer forms, though, while we call them intake forms, really you can use them for a number of different things. For example, we've got a prenatal information form. So that's a form, for example, that you could require customers who have signed up for a prenatal yoga series to fill out, to find out more information about where they are in the pregnancy. So forms and custom fields are really an exciting new step for Punchpass. It's really going to allow you to customize Punchpass to really fit your exact business and the information you need from your customers.
Yeah, so if you couldn't tell from
new customer intake,
Chris' excitement, I'm really excited about this feature. We've definitely talked to a lot of people about why they might need to use a form, how they could use a form, and we've worked with a lot of our users who are interested in this feature to kind of come up with examples of what they might like to see as we've been building it. So really, really excited about this opportunity. And as Chris mentioned, we are going to be launching some new plan options shortly. But just so you know, if you are a current Punchpass user, just wanted to let you know, since Chris mentioned the new plans, we are not moving anyone on from their current plan. So you can stick with your current plan, but we are going to be offering some new opportunities. So that might be something to keep an eye out in your email or in the chat in Punchpass, because we'll be talking about that and letting you know what else we have in store for you. So I'm covering this question. This question I receive a lot in the chat, so I wanted to, since we got it in our request for questions for the webinar, I really wanted to cover this one. So sometimes we get locked out as managers and can only sign in as students, even with the correct managerial credentials. Why does this happen? And what is a quick fix when it does? So, I mean, they're using the term managerial. I might use the term admin or instructor login. So basically anyone who has the back-end access. So instructor level, so attendance only, restricted, or full admin level, you have access and a login with Punchpass. Now, sometimes people are also customers at the same studio. So I teach classes, but I also take classes. So I'm also in there as a customer. And your login can absolutely be the same. However, sometimes we run into a situation where your saved password and your browser is trying to be very helpful and auto logs you into the customer side. And so when that happens and we run into this situation, here's how we fix it. So first we're going to log out. Then we're going to open up your web browser's saved passwords. That is something that you can do from your browser settings. Go into your saved passwords, delete anything for Punchpass. So hopefully you know your password already. If not, we can always run a forgot my password routine, but definitely delete anything that's saved in your web browser, because what it's doing is it's auto sending you to your customer side. Then once you've done that, you can go to app.punchpass.com, log into your admin account. Once you've done that, you can then save your Punchpass login. And the reason why you definitely want to save when you've gone to your admin side is that you can always go from your admin side to your customer side. If you click on your name in your account and then click on Change Studio, you'll have the option to select your admin side or your instructor side, or change studios if you have access to other Punchpass accounts. So from the admin side, that's super easy to do. That's where you'd want to save your login. But yes, sometimes if you save the login and it's going to the customer side, it's just your web browser trying to be a little too helpful, and this is how you can resolve that. I've helped a lot of people with that, and hopefully if you run into the situation, you're now prepared. So we had another how-to that I wanted to cover. I've got a little video for you. So this is another support one. Is there any way to offer a bring friend pass where they book and pay for one and then they get one free? So there is a way to set up a pass that's specifically set up for this. So I'm going to walk you through that. So if I'm going to set up a pass where my customer is purchasing 2 credits for the price of 1 so that they can bring a friend, I'm going to head to Manage Passes to set this up. And here you'll see my drop-in is 20. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new pass. We'll call this my You and a Friend. And we'll say, bring your guest to class. You save your spots. So we can just add a little description, a little explanation there. We're definitely going to make this a punch card, and we're going to set this to 2 credits. So that way we have availability for 2 attendances. And we are going to make the price of this, if we're just covering the guest here for free, we'll set it to $20. And we'll go down, you could set an expiration on this. You can adjust your eligible classes, so I could clear those, but I'll just select all and click Save. And then the next important step is going to be to make sure that we allow double booking for a class. So we're going to go to Manage Settings, under Online Reservations, and we're going to check the box that says allow people to sign up for the same class multiple times. So for a duplicate reservation, this allows someone to sign up for the same class, same time, and cover their guests with this pass. So we'll just click Save. And now that pass is available and our customers can book. All right. I love getting into different examples of passes. I think you can make so many different things with them. It's really kind of fun to see what people are getting up to and looking to offer. All right, so we have another feature request here. What is the best way to segment the customer list into interest groups or subgroups? So this main question, we'll kind of get a little information here as to what they're looking for. Would like to use it for more marketing than directly to an individual class. Have several very different types of classes and people from many different geographic locations. Hand checking them to select them for an email every time is impossible. Is a feature coming within Punchpass, or can you recommend a good and very inexpensive integration? So we're going to go ahead and hear from Erin from our dev team.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm part of the Punchpass developer team, and I'm here to answer the question, what is the best way to segment the customer list into interest groups or subgroups? Well, we're definitely excited to let you guys know that coming out soon on one of Punchpass's new plans, there will be a tagging feature. Basically, the way it works is pretty simple. So, for example, if you wanted to tag your customers and separate them by who was vaccinated or not, you can click on your customer, click here to add a tag. We'll add vaccinated. Give it a refresh. And you'll see that this customer now has the tag vaccinated. And then if we want to go add the same tag to another customer, go ahead and add this here. So you'll see that he now has it as well. And then if you also want to sort by all of your customers who have this tag, you can just click on the tag itself and it will filter, who has the vaccinated tag. So as you can see, there's 2 customers here.
So Erin did want me to mention that when this does go live, you won't have to refresh the page for the tag to show up. It's just still currently, we're still working on it. So wanted to give you that heads up. And then, yeah, what I'm very excited about this tagging feature, because just like the person who wrote in, there's a potential for a lot of marketing opportunities to specific groups of people. And that might not be something that our system knows, if you're looking for people, Chris brought up the prenatal classes. So if you're looking for people with like certain month due dates, or you're looking for people with certain information that about them, but how would the system necessarily know unless you entered that information for them? You can use the tagging feature, and then by being able to pull up a list of everyone with that tag, you'll then be able to quickly find them from that group and then email them. So if you're going to be doing any specific marketing and messaging to groups of people in your contact list, tagging is going to be a really nice feature, and something that we're excited to see on a new plan that we'll be launching again very soon, and excited about that. And you're all getting a lot of sneak peeks, which is pretty fun.
Hi.
So I love this question as someone who handles a lot of onboarding and talking to people who are interested in Punchpass. I love people reaching out and being like, I think it could work for me, but I'm not a fitness studio, right? Can I still use Punchpass if I'm not a fitness studio? And the answer is absolutely. We're really have a lot of users that are outside of the fitness space. We have probably the most users in the fitness space, but we still have a lot of people representing different types of offerings. So some examples, we have quite a few. So we've got a woodworking shop, cooking classes. So I guess the feature that I'll mention is like, you'll probably see consistency in that these people offer classes. If you offer classes, Punchpass probably can work for you. And yes, we have a company that offers specifically grilling classes that works with Punchpass, and they're not geographically close to me, but I wish they were. It looks amazing. Jewelry makers. So we have people who offer jewelry making classes and series and events around that, as well as pottery. So in terms of like crafting and those kind of activities, if you have opportunities to educate people and you want to track their attendance, have signups, have people pay ahead of time or at the door, Punchpass could absolutely work for that. Meditation sometimes spans the fitness world. A lot of times you might see meditation classes at yoga studios, but we do have people who are simply offering and working with meditation classes. So that's an option. We've had some dog walking organizations, which is really awesome and super lovely to get to talk to people who are working with dogs all day. It sounds like it would be fun. I'm sure it's much more work than I'm imagining. We have some tutoring and educational organizations that work with Punchpass. Again, signing up and setting up classes and workshops, all opportunities with any kind of education. We also work with a few dance academies. So still somewhat in the fitness space, but a little bit, maybe a little bit outside your average like adult fitness studio, where you might have more children and different levels of classes, a lot of different rooms and potential for locations with them as well. Physical therapy offices have used Punchpass and are using Punchpass. We also see that often combined with like massage trainers, and people in that world. So we definitely see people using Punchpass for those appointments. One of the very cool ones, wine tasting classes, is something that we've seen people offer through Punchpass, which is pretty cool. It's a class, sign up, pay, awesome. Drama school, so again, teaching acting classes, it's an opportunity for using Punchpass. And also self-defense classes, not necessarily what you'd think of when you're thinking about like an average fitness opportunity, perhaps, but is something that we have quite a few providers offering through Punchpass. So these are just some examples of people that we work with and organizations that we work with, and how they are able to use Punchpass just like a fitness studio. So, you never know if you're talking to someone, if you like Punchpass for your fitness classes and you're talking, and you hear someone outside of the fitness world, but still talking about similar problems that they might be having, you might want to mention us. We do have a referral bonus, so feel free to consider sharing the news outside of the fitness world. We're here for it. Oh, I missed our question. Yes. So here's another support how-to. how to run a report on students who have taken a class from a specific teacher rather than a specific pass. So a lot of our reporting section, you can go and find people who've purchased a specific pass, who currently have a pass, and I wanted to show how you can, find a little bit more specific information about customers taking classes with a particular instructor. So let's take a look. If I'm looking to filter out for a list of customers who've attended with a particular instructor, I'm going to head to my report section in Punchpass. And I'm going to go into attendances by date range. So this report is really cool because we can get a lot of information about specifically attended classes. And what's awesome here is that we can adjust the date range, and we can actually edit this and type it in up here. So if we wanted to pull a really wide date range, we can do so. So click apply and set the range. And so got a lot of attendances over a long period of time. And then I can go and use the search bar to filter out my results. So for instance, if I'm looking for everyone who's attended with my instructor, Mira, I can type their name in and that will pull them up. We can also, if we're not using the search tool, we can also sort by instructor. So that can also pull up some information, but it's going to be a little bit more helpful and useful here in this example to type in their name and pull up their list of attendances. So we can download this file and load it into a spreadsheet tool like Google Sheets or Excel. Or we can also, from here, I can select all of these customers and click email, and I can send them an email. So if there's information I need to let them know about their classes or their work with that instructor, I can contact them really easily. So yeah, even without custom tagging or using that future tool, if there's information that's tied within Punchpass already, related to customer attendances or their passes or information about them, usually a lot of our reports are available, and the search bar is really helpful for pulling up information. So able to find some things that already exist. And here we have another specific support how-to, and we did reach out to this user because it was more time sensitive than we were expecting. But I think there's an aspect to this question that I think people might not realize that is available to them in Punchpass and that they can use it in Punchpass. So due to an error in an email, the wrong URL link, we sent out for an upcoming online class. We have one person that bought a pass to a class that is already completed. They paid through Stripe. Is there a way to transfer that active pass to the correct class? We don't have a pass set up for this class as we are using tickets instead. So this is an example of someone purchased the incorrect pass. Wasn't their fault, things happen. There's confusion sometimes. They purchased a pass, but it's not going to work for the class as it currently stands. So we're going to hear from Claire about this one.
Hello, it's Claire at Punchpass, and we are looking at a scenario where a customer has a previously purchased pass that the studio admin now wants to use for an event that has been set up only with ticketing. So technically the pass isn't valid for the event, but they're happy to have the customer use it. I'm going to show you how to make that happen. So we're going to look at this broker class, which is coming up. We've got two customers on the list to attend. We've got Hugh, who you can see on the right here has a ticket, so he's all set. And then we've got this pass test customer who clearly needs a pass for the class. So we're going to start by marking attendance. And let's put Hugh in first just so we can see the difference. So if we check Hugh in as he turns up to the class, we can see that he's come in and he has a broker ticket, so he is all good to go. And then this pass test person comes and we check them into class. We can tell that they don't have a valid payment on file at this point because they were red. And then when we mark them as attending the class, we can see this little alert comes up that says they don't have a pass. In this case, what we mean by that is that they haven't purchased the ticket. But we can change that. So we're going to click on this little alert. And we can see that in Hugh's account, he has this Yoga Fiesta pass. And this is the one that we've decided is okay for him to use for this broker class. We do get a warning that it's not technically eligible for this class, but as an admin, you can override that. because it's your business. So we're going to decide that we are going to use this Yoga Fiesta pass. If we wanted to assign a different pass, we'll be able to do that using this top button. So we can check next to the Yoga Fiesta pass that he just has sitting in his account, and we'll assign that to him. Beautiful. And then if we go back to look at the Broga class, we can see on the attendance page that both of these customers now show an active pass and that they've effectively paid for that class. So hopefully that makes that a little bit clearer. Let Victoria know if you've got any other questions.
I'll thank Claire for the ending on that one. Of course, please feel free to let me know if you have questions on any of that. But yeah, as the admin on your account, you have a lot of, I guess, a lot of control and a lot of power and flexibility. So where a customer might run into a situation where they're not able to, say, book or attend a class because of the settings that you have, if you want to allow certain things to be okay for one person, for special circumstances, whatever might come up, mistakes can get made and you might want to allow something. You don't have to make that the rule for everyone. It's something that you can allow for just one situation. So we always allow the admins to do a little bit more, as you can imagine, than your customer. So if you want to allow that pass to go through, you're more than welcome.
Hello.
And so we're getting to the end here, but we're going to get into one last rather big and common feature request that we hear. And I liked all the pleases here. Please, 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 can you tell me when you'll be adding Zapier function to Punchpass? So if you're not familiar with Zapier, it is a really popular tool that people use, and it's really about connecting different tools and sort of software together, even if there isn't a built-in special integration. So basically, the idea is that if an action happens in one system, that can trigger an action in another system. So something, common might be, oh, we've got, the idea would be if something happened, a customer did something, could we set up an email or set up some notification or information to come through? That's kind of the idea behind it. But let's check in with Chris.
Zapier integration is a really common request just because it would add so much flexibility to Punchpass. The good news is it is coming. I know people have asked for it for a long time, and it's actually the next big thing we're going to be working on. We're wrapping up a couple of really big features right now, some of which have been highlighted in this webinar, and after that, Zapier is next. No firm timeline yet. Unfortunately, our hopes to have it live later this year. Our target date at the moment is really late October, early November.
So exciting. I mean, we're excited to talk about the new things that we're working on and things we'll be launching in the near future. And it was awesome to get a lot of requests for things that we've been in the works on. So I really wanted to highlight that today. I know that we did get some feature requests in the reaching out and hearing from you all for some features that we just don't currently have on the roadmap. So I've reached out to people who've written in, like a popular one might be people looking for view counts for videos that they have uploaded to Punchpass. So it's not currently on our roadmap, but I wanted to let everyone know that that's okay. That doesn't mean that it's never going to happen again. And similarly, if something comes up in the future, if you have a feature request, if you are looking for some kind of support, help, and how to, if you just have a question about Punchpass, who we are, what we're doing, how might we be helpful for you, here's how you can handle that and what you can do with that information, because we're not going to host this webinar every month or every week or every day. So if you need information or you have these questions or interests, here's how you can handle that on the day-to-day. So from your Punchpass account or from any public website for Punchpass, we have our chat box in the bottom right-hand corner. So from your homepage, you can go in and click on that. And at the top, you'll see two, more pressing options. So you can send us a message if there's an issue or you have a question that you want to reach out to one of our team members about. Click there, send us a message. You can also go back and see previous conversations if you need to. You can also use our search bar for searching for help support articles. So if this is something like, how do I create a series? I've never done that before, and I would love to have some support on. You might not need to reach out to us. We've created a lot of how-tos already, so you can check our search bar for that. And then if that doesn't answer your question, feel free to send us a message. And then if you scroll down here, you'll actually see at the bottom is if you have a feature request, click on the Give Feedback button, and that will take you to our sort of support team and dev team tool. We all kind of look at it on a regular basis. It's called Canny, and it's where people are voting and putting in requests for features that they'd like to see Punchpass roll out. So if you do reach out to us and it's a feature request and we know about it or we think it's important, we'll definitely prompt you to vote for it, or we'll mark you off for being interested in that tool as well. So that way we can keep track of your interest in features, and that's why we're able to make new developments, because we have an idea about what you're looking for, and so we can kind of help our dev team know what's of interest, what's going to be of use for you all. And that's why we've got tagging and intake forms coming soon, with a new plan that we're going to be offering. So if you have anything, if you're interested, if you have questions for our team, if it's really specific, if it's this one customer I'm having a problem with and I don't know how to do this, again, reach out to us in the chat. We're happy to help. And then if it's something more general, definitely feel free to check the support questions or reach out to us. And then if it's a feature request, go ahead and write that in, and you can write in exactly why you need it. We love hearing details and examples. That's why we've used examples of people using looking for vaccine status, or people looking for due dates for prenatal yoga, because these are things that we've heard from our clients who really want to see that come to fruition. So we're making it happen, and we're always interested in hearing what you're looking for, because it helps us out a lot. So I did want to mention, if you are interested in learning more about other people who use Punchpass or what other studios are doing, we know that there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of different, tools and recommendations for fitness studios or people just offering classes, especially during these times that can be a little tricky to navigate. So we've started, a tool that hopefully will help you find information about businesses like you, people who are using Punchpass, so kind of in your same size and in your same world, using the same software. And we're launching this podcast, or we've launched this podcast, and it's all about conversations and finding out what people are doing, what they're offering for their classes, how are they marketing them, what kind of struggles they've been through and how they've come out on the other end, how Punchpass works for them. And it's hosted by Claire. So you've heard from Claire a little bit today if you want to hear more. She's lovely, and the conversations are so interesting and so different from person to person. So our first season of the podcast, Good Moves, is out. If you're looking to find it, it's available on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and also on punchpass.com. So if you're looking to hear more about Punchpass users, other people who might be going through the same kind of things you are, and might, have some tips, recommendations, ideas. I'm an instructor myself, so it's always great to listen to what other people are doing when it comes to classes. I love getting inspired, even if they're not teaching the exact same thing as I am. There's still really great nuggets of information, and it's always a good conversation. So if you're looking for more information about what other people are doing and just kind of listening in, getting a feel for what else is out there and what maybe you'd like to try too, I definitely recommend Good Moves. So I know we've been answering questions, and chatting a little bit with different team members. But since I'm here now, I'm so happy to answer any questions that maybe you have about anything we've covered today or about Punchpass in general. If you want to use the chat box, you can feel free to send us a message and I'll be happy to answer that or get back to you. But feel free to type in. I'll give you a minute or two here. All right, so maybe we're all feeling really excited and appreciate the answers that we've been able to give you. I'm so glad we could get different members of the Punchpass team to answer and talk. Again, I think it's really cool that we were able to get a little sneak peek on some features that we've got coming out soon, and just hear from the team, because we're all, I mean, you might be working a lot with me or with Leah or with Claire as your customer success specialists. But, you know, there's a lot of people, or our small and mighty team is working behind the scenes, and we're all working together to hopefully answer your questions and get back to you if you need anything. So if anything does come up as you're kind of, you know, thinking about the webinar, or if you have anything else coming up, you know, as you're going about your day or as you're using Punchpass, please use the chat and reach out to us. We're so happy to listen to your questions and talk to you. So let us know if we can help. But I just want to, it's going past. I just want to thank everyone for attending and listening in today or checking out our recording. We're more than happy to talk if offline, if anyone has additional questions. And we're just excited to be able to meet with you every month. So we'll see you at the next webinar. If anything comes up, reach out, let us know. But thanks again, and stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon.